It's now time for our main event with your host, Chris Tetrold Blaine. Welcome to Once Upon a Turnbuckle.
Welcome back, everyone, to an ultra special edition of Once Upon a Turnbuckle. For many reasons, which I'll get into in a bit. But the main reason is I've got two very special guests along. Kind of seems fitting that I kind of close off the Behind the Karnage element of my show, which has taken up the last couple of months, with one of the most dominant forces in Pro Wrestling Karnage. I welcome back Dangerous Danny Owens. I welcome to the show Brewski Blanch. Beers and Beatdowns, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having us.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure. I've been really looking forward to this one. I saw you guys together. The first I knew you two guys when you were together on Cayman's Crap Quiz a little while ago. So I knew this was going to be a laugh, hopefully, anyway.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, I got to congratulate you too as well, really, on since I spoke to you, Danny. Obviously, there's two more Pro Wrestling Karnage shows in the history books.
Yeah.
They look and sound like they went down an absolute storm.
They were phenomenal. The third show by far was on Saturday was our best show, in my opinion. And we had some great guys on there. We had Charlie Sterling, Pro Wrestling Tag Champ.
Yeah.
You had Beers and Beatdowns on the show.
Honestly, yeah.
What more could you want?
Nothing else. Charlie Sterling, yeah, I've been talking about him on a couple of my other shows because he's the Reach Wrestling heavyweight champion down there as well. So that was quite cool to see him crop up.
Yeah, he's a good guy, great dude, phenomenal talent, phenomenal, and all round top gent. So thanks for coming on, Charlie. It was brilliant.
Yeah, they opened the show. Is that right?
Yeah.
What a way to open. That's awesome.
Oh, it was crazy. We've sort of, I guess, is a part of the recipe now. But the first three shows that we've had some cracking opening matches. All of which now they're going to be the free matches that are put on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, the next one when we get the videos are going to be Charlie Sterling versus JJ Roberts.
Very cool, very cool. And I see JJ Roberts is still hanging around chasing Cayman, so that looks like it could lead to interesting things down the line.
JJ is also a phenomenal talent, by the way. He's proper pro and a dream to work with. So so the match on Saturday was excellent. Cool. So the bits I saw was brilliant.
That'll speak for itself, I'm sure, when it's up there. But and you've added someone else to your mix as well. Beers and Beatdowns and Brilliance with James Ellis. I love that.
Yeah, it was. There
you go. You have to get a new T-shirt for the occasion.
Yeah, we had to get a new T-shirt. It was just a one-off. Behind the scenes, James is one of our best mates, and it only seemed fitting that we sort of, our thing with Aaron Scare and his thing with Jimmy Taylor, we sort of like meshed them together for one night only, especially in Port Talbot, where Jimmy, James, and me all first met, and where Blanche first met them as well.
Yeah.
So I think it made sense for us all to be a part of something which was the same in Port Talbot. So yeah,
I was kind of hoping it would lead to, bringing back the good old factions like we used to have with the Horsemen and stuff. You don't get that so much. Too many great.
Who knows? It might happen. Who knows? We'll see what comes of it. We had a lot of fun. All of us. 6 of us had a lot of fun.
It's quite natural as well with the Brilliance, with the BXB. Like I said, because we are close and we spend a lot of time together, so it is quite natural and natural works.
Yeah. So. And I get the whole kind of vibe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be making this assumption, but the BXB image I liken to a bit like APA. I think you could definitely see that happening, like, you know, WWE back along, where you had someone as arrogant as James Ellis with you guys backing him up. And I'll be intrigued to see if any more comes of that. But
it was very fun. It was good. It was it was brilliant, to be honest.
It's we'll turn the spotlight onto you, Blanch, though, if that's all right, because we've met Danny before. I'm sure there's more to tell, obviously, that we didn't get to in the show, but we've not met you before. So, you know, just sort of to kick off, like I normally do, where did your relationship with wrestling begin? You know, how far back does it go that you first discovered it in some way?
Probably school. 7, 8 years old, there used to be WWF cards.
Yes.
Do you remember the old blue?
I do.
Ropes around
I started with those. Yeah. That
happened at school, and then, like, it was a Sky deal back then, so some people had lucky to have it. I didn't have it. No. And then it got really serious with the Bulldog coming along. David Boy Smith, like, obviously being British was a big deal, and it kind of led to like SummerSlam '92 then, which was huge. Yeah. And just became a massive fan of it. And I was never a massive Hogan fan or Warrior fan. I like Bulldog. Yeah. I like Jake the Snake. I like Bret Hart. So yeah, so that was 92-ish. 91 I really got into it, and then that led to 92 with the SummerSlam over here.
Sort of like carbon copy of me, really. Exactly the same era that I got into it, exactly the same reasons. So yeah, I totally relate. And then
I think it was like WCW Worldwide was on ITV. Yes.
Yeah.
But they used to have the spinning ring.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I do remember
in the old MGM studios or something. They had the spinning ring. Vader was around at that point. Yeah. Cactus Jack Manson. Sting was like the man. So I was a bit more of a WCW guy at one point as well, because it was free on telly on ITV. I think it was either before or after the 18.
Yes. ITV and Saturday afternoons, I think it was, or something.
Yeah. Gladiators was on. Yeah. So just huge fan, and then like fell out of it as you get a bit older, and then randomly one night, and I'm talking like when I was about 2000. Yeah, so 2000, it was the Rumble 2000. I'd been working a late shift, and I was like, how old was I? 17. I was working in the supermarket late, and I got home and I was making food, and I flicked through the telly channels 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to number 4 and left it, and there was this like image. I think it's like the Big Show and Undertaker.
Yeah, Undertaker had a chokehold, I think, on Big Show or something like that.
And it was Rumble 2000.
Yeah.
And Cactus Jack promo against Triple H came on, and that was it. I watched that promo, watched the match, eating some random food at stupid o'clock in the morning, and that was it. That match, just that promo, the whole thing where he took his mask off, and so I knew who Cactus Jack Manson was. I had no idea who Mankind was, and then he took a mask off. I was like, I know him, and that was kind of it. Then it was more of like catch up then forever, going over the Attitude Era, finding out who Steve Austin was, and then the NWO, and then just get whatever tapes I could off friends. Found out a load of friends I knew that were massive secret wrestling fans, and they had a load of tapes, so I'd be borrowing them. And then I think about a year after that, about 2001, I was training in the gym with a friend of mine, and he says, there's a local wrestling show in a local leisure centre. Do you want to come along? I know I've actually met one of the wrestlers recently. Do you want to go and meet him? I said, yeah, we'll go to the show and whatever. Met the guy after. His name was Johnny Rose.
Yeah.
And then Johnny Rose said, why don't you come along to a show in like a week or two's time, and we'll get you in the ring and do some training. And that was it. About 6 days later, after doing 2 hours training, 6 days later, I was on a show in Birmingham.
No way. That's probably one of the quickest debuts I've.
I did about 4 minutes in a Rumble.
Okay.
The guys I travelled up with were actually all in my school with me, and I didn't know they were into wrestling. And then it just came from there, and I kind of learned like on the road, like old school. I learned before shows. There wasn't many people with rings back then in like 2001. Yeah. So you learn at shows before you put the ring up, and then got the ring up as quick as you can, and then you just got in the ring and learned off the older guys there. So
Wow.
I kind of had an education that way. And then it just snowballed into, like, I started off managing then, because I was actually mainly more of a manager at one point.
Okay.
I'm probably known for managing more. And then it just snowballed. So,
Cool.
and then I took 13 years off.
I was going to come to that. Yeah. So what happened there? And yeah, what was the reason for that delay? And then more importantly, what was the reason that got you back?
All right. So I was managing in Celtic wrestling. I had a big stint. I finished wrestling about 2008 was my last match as a wrestler. And I decided I want to go back into managing full time. I was getting more work as a manager, so I thought it made sense. I was managing Tyson T-Bone at the time.
Okay.
Managing some other champs in other companies and stuff. So I went to a Celtic show, and Dan was about 4 years old at this point.
Yeah.
I
think it was about 20.
Yeah, there we go. And Thomas Bassey, the one man right, Bassey said that, Blanch, now you live in Wales, because I moved to Wales. Now you live in Wales. Do you want to come and manage me? I said, yes, mate, I'll be honoured. So I started managing Bassey. We had a bit of a run in Celtic. And then when Celtic kind of finished, I was a bit like, I was starting to get poorly, starting to get ill. And I didn't know what was going on. So I stepped away when Celtic kind of finished. And I found out I was really poorly, really ill.
Right.
So it's taken me this long to get back to any kind of normality in my life, where I can, I became a father and stuff. So 13 years away, and now I'm at some point where I can kind of do a little bit again.
Yeah.
So I don't do much, but I do enough.
Sure.
So
did it, when you got back into it after those 13 years, did it feel like, in a way, you've not been away, or did you feel like you had to kind of learn a lot of it again? Yeah,
I had to get to try to do as much in ring as I could at the beginning of it. When I decided I was coming back, because I was going to come back to managing. That was it. I was going to come back, manage Dan, and basically do my old routine stuff that I did in Celtic and stuff, but with Dan. Right. And then someone else had this random idea of us being a tag team. And it kind of that kind of took a life of itself. We didn't actually do much of it. We filmed a little vignette, and it just kind of took off.
Cool.
But no, when they come back to training, I was doing a little bit of training and just getting used to being back in the ring. And the first few bumps were right. They weren't. I thought they were going to be worse than they were.
Yeah.
I recently lost quite a bit of weight, so that kind of helped. The whole wrestling thing, coming back to wrestling, helped me get into some shape.
Sure.
And it's just become this, isn't it? It's
cool.
Yeah, it is going good.
Good.
Yeah, we did a little vignette and it just went off.
So
we'd done the vignette, and we had promoters messaging, because we created the BXB page on Facebook with just a random logo, posted the video, and we had promoters messaging us asking, who are you? And we were getting bookings just from the vignette. They hadn't seen our face, didn't know who we were, didn't know if we could even wrestle, I guess, but they were still looking to book us. So we were because we were going to leave it a couple of months, weren't it, before we actually done the reveal.
Mm-hmm.
We had to leave it 2 days now.
Yeah, I think it was 2 days.
Wow. But what a good reason to do it, not just because you were bored, you were in demand. So that's awesome. And so let's talk about Beers and Beatdowns as an entity then. What was the inspiration behind it, if there was any, or is it just something that came to you?
Yeah, it was just like a random conversation.
Yeah.
Me and Dan hadn't seen each other for a long time. Now, the story behind that is I was in a hospital waiting room with my ex-partner at the time when my baby was, we were going to have a scan and stuff, and it was a stupidly hot day. So I'm in the waiting room with these poor pregnant women that were just baking hot. There was no air or anything. This other couple come and sat opposite to us in the same situation. I had a guts full of being there, and I look up and it's Smurf on his phone, just being thing. And I just started saying, this is the worst day ever. Look how hot it is. And then I'm stuck in a waiting room with Smurf. And he looked up and went, what are you doing here? So we hadn't actually seen each other for probably about 8 years at this point, maybe more, 9 years. And we started talking, just catching up. And it's like, you've got to come down to this local school, come and say hello to the boys. Just come and say hello.
Yeah.
So after a couple of months, I kind of did, and then it just happened again. So
Awesome.
that's how we kind of reconnected. But I've known him since he was 12, yeah.
Oh, okay,
So
wow.
he was always doing the ring and the music and stuff, and like Celtic and other Welsh promotions, and he was everywhere. So so then the beers and beatdown thing just came from us chatting, just randomly talking, because I was a Weasley manager that wore a suit, when I last finished.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I could picture you with that as well, oddly enough. So, that's
so it wasn't, I was this Weasley manager that would get involved and take a bump at the end of a match and stuff. And you were Dangerous Danny Owens at this point.
Yeah, so I was getting a name as being this brawler that took no BS off anyone. And I was like, I think it'd be cool if we sort of mixed that, because there were points in that gimmick and that sort of timeline where I would like drink a beer with the fans or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you can be the beers to my beatdown sort of thing.
It was literally that conversation, and we went, that's it. That's what we're gonna do. And then the BXB came from somebody else when they designed a logo for us. And it just literally went. It's been quite natural, to be honest. And I think natural's good. Like I said, natural's good in wrestling sometimes.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been too much thought, but it's just kind of how. And then when it comes to our look and everything, we base ourselves on being the same but different.
Okay.
So small things that are different. Like he wears a beanie, I wear a baseball cap. He's got a long beard. I can't grow one.
I wear denim over my leather. He just wears a leather.
I wear my boots on the outside of my jeans. He wears the jeans over the top of his boots. Just small stuff like that.
That's cool.
So we are the same gimmick, but we look completely different.
Yeah. It's a very harking back what I was saying. The correlation with teams like APA and DOA as well. I suppose it's a very attitude era sort of feel to it, which really does resonate with people like me who hark back to those years a lot. Have you found when you started, obviously you had the hype behind you already just from this vignette, when you started getting out there in shows, was the response you were getting pretty instant from the crowds?
I'd say the first Karnage show, definitely.
Yeah, the first Karnage show was fantastic. And the second, because at that point there was a lot of people that because they were in the same venue, there was a lot of people that come to the first show as well, so they knew who we were. So it was, instant heat, as they say. The third show on Saturday, that was different.
Right.
When you see me, you'll see. You'll be like, very different.
Cool.
It was so, as you said, we had James Ellis with us, who's from Port Talbot. I live in Port Talbot now. Blanch lives in Port Talbot. But people knew me from wrestling anyway in Port Talbot. James brought all his mates to watch, who were steaming drunk. And somehow, like, the crowd were half and half, even though we were the heels in the match. The crowd just split, and there was just some random fans in the crowd that thought, they're cooler than and Scare and Jimmy. We're gonna cheer them instead.
Awesome.
So there was one point in the match where Jimmy and James started, and there was a let's go Jimmy, let's go James chant, and it was nuts.
That's fantastic.
It was brilliant. So that was a bit different.
Yeah.
Still working the heel gimmick, but getting cheered for it as well.
Do you find it when that happens, or when that happened, that does it throw you off, or does it sort of you just get into it even more? The fact that people
we loved it.
We loved it. No, we were into it. We were going around the ring, and James's mates were going absolutely batshit. And I went to them and I grabbed them both. I was like, right, we need to go and stand by your mates. And James was like, "Oh, we can't do that." I was like, "We're going over there now."
Dragged him over.
So we dragged James over to his mates, and we all stood in front of his mates, and they jumped out of their seats. They're climbing all over us. I had a watch scram my eyeball, which really hurt.
Right.
And they're going absolutely crazy. Cubal's on the second rope looking down on us, and he can see how cool the situation was, and I could see him smiling at me. And yeah, it was really cool. And then in the other corner over there, you had Jimmy's family who were going nuts for Aaron Scare and Jimmy, and then the majority of the other crowd going nuts for him. But then you had like a set number of people that were pro BXB for that show. Which was fun. It was nice to get cheered for a change.
It was.
Yeah, I bet. Especially when it's unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So you're looking to return to Port Albert for another show at some point with that kind of reaction?
I think so. Blanch is he's a very positive person, and I hate him for it sometimes. But I'm very pessimistic, and the show I was a bit worried about because we hadn't pre-sold as many tickets as we usually do. As we usually did for the first two shows. And I weren't sure we were going to get people on the door. So I was like, if it goes to hell, I was like, we're not doing it again. But everyone that bought a ticket turned up, and then we had a shed load more people pay on the door as well. Cool. And then the crowd were insane. Like every match, to be fair, every match on the card, there wasn't a bad match on the card, which helped. But the crowd they didn't shut up through everything. Even the announcer was getting cheered. It was unbelievable. They were absolutely phenomenal.
I like to say I think it was a clever idea on Dan's behalf of booking a wrestling show in a dance studio, because the acoustics were brilliant in there.
There you go. That's the way forward, obviously. So it's Pineapple Studios one day then.
Yeah. But the building was really loud. We were quite there was a couple of walls and rooms between the locker room and the hall, and we could hear the reactions that people get in. So that's always good when you're at the backstage and you can hear what's going on. And you can hear the pops and stuff. So that's really good. It was fantastic. Great show. It was a great laugh.
I'm still on a high from it. I still haven't come down.
Why not? When's the next show? I haven't seen anything else announced. Have you got any more shows sort of booked, ready to go, or is...
not at this point. We're looking at a new venue. Again.
Watch this space.
Yeah, we're looking to go somewhere new.
Okay.
In the new year. So we're looking at around the end of January, early Feb, maybe mid-Feb, to do the next show. Okay,
cool. Yeah, gives you time to
Dan's got like 10 kids as well, so Christmas is coming.
Yeah, that's a point actually. Yeah, I do.
So Christmas is coming. And the boys have worked the roster, everyone that's worked for us, everybody that's worked for us has been brilliant and professional, and it's been great. So it's down to the guys, their work they do. So much deserved break. As much as we want to do another show like now, I think we worked really hard. We even discussed if we'd done more shows this year, we would have done some kind of awards thing. But we leave that till next year, I think now.
But what I love about what you guys do is you take the time to really hype a show up as well. So I mean, a couple of months again, going old school where you used to have that point in between the shows to really get some something behind it, and you have your pre-shows with Kai, which I love the idea of that. Why should the big boys be just the only ones to have some kind of show like that they do? I think it's brilliant. Really sort of gets the interest going right on the day, doesn't it, for that? So, and
we had a couple of walk-ins, people pay on the door because they watched the pre-show morning of the show. So
job done.
Kai was actually doing the door, and a lady come in and she was like, "Oh, we seen you on the Facebook page this morning." And he was like, "Oh yeah, awesome." Really, but obviously he's doing a good enough job to be able to get people to the door. So
yeah, oh, brilliant. Before we move on to the other half of the show that I've got planned, Blanch, let's talk about being the first ever Karnage Outbreak Champion, shall we? Because
can do.
You know, I was chatting to Kai about that. I think he was the first guest that I spoke to about the that championship, and he had it there to hand and everything. And now you know it went to you. So tell us about that, sort of how it happened for people that weren't there or haven't seen or heard of it, and what it means to you to be the first Outbreak Champion.
Well, there's lots of stuff to go on backstage, like the whole running of the show and stuff, and obviously I'm part of that. But we have an agreement. Yeah, we have an agreement that I have nothing to do with my own booking. Okay. So kayfabe and everything, but I have nothing to do with my own booking at all. Yeah. So after much discussed, we decided me. It was me. Booker Man decided that I could do something that would help the guys, the next person, because we feel that a championship bout is about the next person. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but yeah, that was under protest, I suppose. No, so we had a 10-man Royal Rumble. Yeah. And yeah, it was kind of me that the one. It was very close to being endlessly. It was very, very close to being endlessly. Oh. I thought I'd won the match. I eliminated Kenny Mantra, and I was celebrating, thinking I'd won the match. And you see the footage. Endlessly popped up, who had been removed from the match sooner but not eliminated. Endlessly popped up. He was very close to winning. Very close to winning. Oh, bless him. But old Blanch decided that wasn't going to happen, and it wasn't going to be his day.
There we go. There you go.
But no, I'm very honoured. Like I said, it's been a long journey for me to get to where I am. And I'm not going to brag about being the greatest wrestler in the world or anything. But there's some stuff that I can do that is very beneficial to a show, I suppose, by being very different and being quite old school, because I learned very differently on the work aspect of a match. So to get the reactions and stuff. So I don't do as much as I used to, because I just physically can't. But what I can do is still annoy people, I suppose. I get the reactions that I want. Yeah. I got a face that people want to punch. So
which always helps.
Yeah. Always helps. So yeah, it's about the progression of what we think wrestling is at this level. So yeah, I'm very excited to defend it. I haven't defended it properly yet. So I'm very excited to defend it and see where it goes with it. So
have you got
bring it on, boys.
Anyone on the roster, or even anyone from outside the current Karnage roster, that you would like to work with in defense of that title?
Yeah, a couple actually. I'd like to defend it against Oliver Southern. I think he's great talent. Kenny Mantra, definitely Kenny Mantra. Jimmy Taylor. Yeah. I've wrestled Jimmy Taylor a couple of times. Wouldn't mind having a singles with him one day. Cue Ball. I'd like to have a singles match with Cue Ball. I think we're at that point now where a singles match with Cue Ball would be great.
You have the singles with Cue Ball. I'll have the singles with Big D.
There we go. Big D. Big D in the singles. And endlessly maybe again if he deserves a shot. But no, I think the roster's great.
I think some depth there, which is brilliant. You know, for a promotion which you've just had only your third show. You know, to see the kind of talent that you've already got there and what you've been able to attract as well, you know, is encouraging to say the least. So, cool.
Yeah, we're very proud of the roster, actually. It's
we got some good guys, and we want to bring more people in. But obviously on shows, there's only so much or so many people that you can have on each show. So we are going, starting next year, we're going with sort of like a roster rotation, so we can get more eyes on more people. So not every show will feature, say, BXB. In our place will be someone else. So they can have a chance to shine. And then you'll have a couple of mainstays that you'll see on every show. But then there's going to be some, including us, because even though we're on the booking team, I guess that we're not selfish. So we'll be taking ourselves off. We'll be there. And if anything, if we have dropouts, we're there anyway, just in case. And then all the other guys, if they're not, say, booked on a particular show, they can still come, they can still help out if they want or watch. And then if they've got their gear and there is a dropout, they're there as a backup.
You could almost one day you could have like two brands, and I'm not a fan of the brand splits and stuff like that, I must admit, but you know, it might work. It could work if you get that amount of talent sort of behind you. I don't know if I asked you this, Danny, actually last time around, but sort of a vision down the road for Karnage. Do you see being able to sort of train up your own to bring them through?
There was. We've talked about a training school, and there was a unit that we had for about 5 days,
right?
But then realized
it wasn't going to cut it, was it?
It just wasn't big enough. And since then we just haven't found anything that's suitable, unfortunately. But
I think shows have taken up most of the time as well, which is not a position.
Of course.
And with shows, obviously, I gotta pay for the shows. I've also got to pay for a wedding in August, as my partner keeps reminding me.
As if you could forget.
Yeah, when I'm booking all these big names, and she's like, "Remember, we've got a wedding." Yeah, I know. But she's so supportive of the whole thing. She loves it. Like if I say, right, I want this guy, and he's a big name, so he's going to cost a lot more than the average roster member, she's just like, yeah, go for it, because there's more eyes on us at the end of the day. But yeah, with that, I think it'll be after the wedding where we can put more money aside. The money that was going away for the wedding, then we can put it away for like a training school, and we can make it all properly instead of getting bits as we go along, sort of thing. So we can have it all just done, ready to go, sort of thing.
Not to run before you can walk. I mean, you guys are doing fantastic stuff already.
I think just getting the name of Karnage about is the main goal at the moment. Shows seem to be doing quite well, and that's what's important to us at the moment, is making a product that's a little bit different, but it's for the guys as well. It's for the workers, to a platform for them to get their face about, and that's what we really want to do. It's not really for us, it's for the next lot, because old Blanching will be around for a long time. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, you know. So
at least you can slot back into the management role, you know, when you've had enough in the ring.
There's been talks, people coming up to me, telling me to get my red jacket out. So there has been mention of it, but we'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
We need to beat you Scary first before he leaves.
Well, yeah, you've got to get those tag belts, haven't you? Really, it'd be wrong of you to not get.
At the moment, it's not even about the tag belts. I just need to beat them.
Was it your first win the weekend?
It was my first win the weekend.
Oh wow! Okay, congratulations! Yay, off the box.
I didn't pin the guy, so technically, you know,
you got your hand raised.
Hand
raised. Everyone.
It's like I said, it's about the younger guys and stuff that are coming in that are really working hard, like the James Ellises, the Jimmy Taylors, you know, Yeahs and Scares, you know, Kenny Mantras of the world, Kurt Atlas, who was on with us.
Yeah.
These young, talented guys, just us giving them a platform to get better and go to the next step. You know, if if guys want to go from us and then go to Welsh or go to England and stuff, and that's grand. That's what we want it to be about.
Yeah.
So it's about a wrestling promotion that's a platform. It's like
for
the workers, ran by a couple of workers, and Kai and stuff. So like
a couple of workers.
He's gonna love that. Sorry, buddy. And,
I'll use that as a tagline. So
yeah.
So well, he's a pre-show guy. So yeah. So it's about that really. It's not. It's like Dan said, as soon as we can, we won't be on the shows.
No.
So
would you miss it sort of when you do get to that point? Or
I think I would. I think I'd take bookings elsewhere if people wanted me.
Yeah.
But I want Karnage to get bigger than me, so I feel like I'm not good enough to be on the show myself.
Okay.
That's where I want to see it. And I'll take bookings elsewhere, or if needs be, like there is a dropout and I don't have anyone else, I can step in.
Yeah.
For like a one-off or something. But I wouldn't. I want it to be to the point where I'm just backstage. I'm literally Vince with my headset looking at the monitor, because we have a monitor backstage as well. It's
an incredible sounding setup. You're there. It's all in place. You just watch yourself grow almost. Yeah. Yeah,
we've got a monitor. All the referees have headsets and walkies, so if they're running over, I'm on the mic to the ref. Right, tell him to go home now. We're running over. But yeah,
we like to stay hands-on with the booking as well. So the guys come and talk to us about what they want, what we want from the show, and can they do this for the finish, and can we add a bit of this, So we kind of have a little bit of direction with what the guys are doing. It's not just they just put together their own stuff. So it means we try and keep every match completely different on the card. So it's not all the same, and every match starts the same way, and it is a completely different show. It is a circus.
Yeah. Well, that's how it all started. So, that's not a derogatory term anymore. I don't feel when you talk about wrestling. I think it's quite, the heart of it is back.
Yeah.
So.
And that's where we fit in as well, because we're very different to the other tag teams that are wrestling around the place.
Yeah.
We're not so much of like. There's a lot of really, really good wrestling tag teams around, but then we do something very different with our whole act. So. Yeah. I think that's more of a that's kind of why we've got noticed a little bit. So
yeah, and I think you need that. It's great that for a time wrestling kind of went into the more sort of believable aspect, more about the athletic style, the sportsman sort of side of it. But I think professional wrestling grew because it stood out from the sort of the sport aspect for such a time. I think you've got to have a nice balance, haven't you?
We like the character. We like the character aspect of what we do.
Yeah. The thing is, if it calls for it, I can get in the ring and I can go and wrestle with a James Ellis. I can do all that. As people seen on Saturday, I'm gonna dive over the top rope.
I saw that. That's impressive. That was cool.
Can do all the high flying stuff. I just don't need to.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah,
I don't do it at all.
I just don't need to. What's the point in killing myself when I can get the same reaction of kicking someone in the face?
Yeah.
Not just that. He's getting on now,
and I'm getting on. Yeah.
I've never known somebody be so hurt.
Oh, my back is hurting.
He's in so much. People think I'm the younger one of the two. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's the real reason why there's going to be a couple of months in between, isn't it, really? That's going to take...
Yeah.
Danny.
That's the reason why we're really tagging, is because he doesn't know what longevity is. And so he needed a tag team partner to take some of the heat a little bit.
Yeah. He takes the heat. I come in for the hard tag and take the finish. So
there you go. You get the glory. So, right. Let's... When I knew I was going to have you guys on there, there's one element I wanted in the show. Now, we were originally meant to do this before Halloween, so I knew I had to put a quiz in here because, like I say, I first noticed you two when you were on one of Cayman's crap quizzes, and I thought you were fantastic, so I needed to do offer something like that. So I've got a quiz to find what I've phrased very cornerly, the Brains of Beatdown. We'll see. After your reaction at the top when we discussed it before, and I said it was Survivor Series themed, I'm thinking I may have gone a little bit off the boiler.
It's okay.
But I've left a couple of Halloween Havoc questions in there that I had from when I was devising it. But I've mentioned on my page lately that this time of year was one of my favorite times as a fan, because I absolutely loved the Survivor Series. You had Halloween Havoc lingering around as well, but it was just kind of the unpredictability around Survivor Series. Not a fan of it right now, being Raw against SmackDown. You know, you get gone are the times when you had teams made up for a reason to fight guys for a reason, rather than, oh, our show against your show, you know. So I've got a simple quiz, written my own questions. To avoid any kind of fixed claims or anything, this is going to be done completely at random. I've actually got props with questions in, so I'm not siding with either of you. You know, I will reach in and I will take a question. There are 10 just sort of normal questions, 5 each. So we'll do those. And then there is a almost like a Survivor Series triple threat scenario, which I'll explain. It's slightly different. But if you're ready, actually, I need to keep the score, otherwise there will be calls for my head. So bear with.
Insert tacky quiz jingle.
I haven't got a coin to flip or anything. I'm really unprepared. So I was going to say oldest first, age before beauty.
Yeah, there you go. That'll do.
That'll do. Right, cool.
He's still first.
Okay.
Right. So first question, Blanche. What have we got here? Okay. In what year did the very first Survivor Series pay-per-view take place?
I think I know this one.
Was it 87?
It was 1987.
Mm-hmm. Keep playing.
Have a bit of that.
See, you know, it's nothing to be scared of. Nothing to be scared of.
Yes.
There are some tricky ones. There are a couple in here which, you know, there are bonus points available as well. So you may get lucky with one of those. Okay.
Right first.
Danny. So during his tirade after the infamous Montreal screw job at Survivor Series 97, what 3 letters did Bret Hart write in the air as he faced the camera at the end of the show?
WCW.
He did. I thought that was a cracking, up yours, wasn't it? That whole thing. I don't rate the match, you know, say what you will about what happened at the end and everything, but I just thought what he did at the end was fantastic.
Yeah.
Right, Blanche. What have I got for you?
Here we go.
So, can you name any one of the wrestlers who performed under a mask at Survivor Series 93 as Shawn Michaels' Knights?
No.
Oh, no. Okay.
No.
Say someone.
Perfect.
I would have said perfect as well.
Oh, see, I was going to bat it over to you, Danny. See if you want to steal this one.
I was going to say perfect as well, to be fair.
Oh, no. Do you want to have another guess?
Yes, I'll go.
Hey, we've already had that, Blanche. We can't have the same answer. That's not fair.
What year was it again?
93.
93. Oh, God. I can't remember 93. I was like young.
These are pretty old school. I should have said that at the top, obviously.
I'm gonna say Jake Roberts.
Oh, I would have loved to have seen that. Actually, no.
Was Martel one of them?
No, again, you know, you should have probably been around at the time, because I thought the guys he ended up with were fairly crummy. Barry Horowitz.
Barry Horowitz.
As the Red Knight. You had Greg Valentine as the Blue Knight. And you had USWA star Jeff Gaylord as the Black Knight.
Right. Yeah, Barry would have been my next guess, is, I think.
There you go. So if we could,
he still goes on, but he still works, Barry Horowitz.
I know, and he's looking probably better than he did back then as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a good what? enhancement worker or well jobber. So
Yeah.
I jobbed for years. It was amazing. Best part, one of the best things I ever did.
Well, at the end of the day, you're making the stars look good, aren't you? That's what you're there for. And I quite like, say what you will about 95, but I quite like the fact that they gave him his 15 minutes of fame with a couple of wins and that. It seemed quite fitting. So, well, we won all then after, so that's fine. Right. So who was next? That was Blanche's question. So Danny, at how many Survivor Series events did Bret Hart face Shawn Michaels?
Oh, wow.
There is a bonus point, bonus on offer if you can name them.
Not a clue. I'm going to say 3.
Correct.
That was a good guess, but I
was going to say, can you name them?
He pulled that out of the bag, didn't he?
Did a bit, yeah.
I can't name any of them.
Okay. Go on. I'll offer a bonus point, Blanche, if you can.
It was 95.
No.
I think it's earlier then. I think it's like 91 or something, 90.
It was 92, 93, and then 97.
Wow. IC runs, yeah.
That 92 one was fantastic. Champion versus champion, Bret's first defense of the world title. That's cool. So Blanche. Okay. This was one of the first questions that came to mind when I was doing this. So it's a Halloween Havoc question.
Okay.
Halloween Havoc 91 saw the infamous Chamber of Horrors match take place. At the electrifying conclusion of the match, who was in the hot seat and who flicked the switch?
Abdullah the Butcher was in the hot seat.
He was. Who flicked the switch?
Sting?
No.
I can't remember that bit. I know it was Abdullah the Butcher.
Yeah, I can't remember.
That's fine. I'll give you a point for that.
Oh, thank you.
Given the flicking the switch, Cactus Jack.
Was it?
Yeah.
His WCW run was really good. He did get enough credit.
I was quite, there was a few heels that I really, was quite fearful of when I was a kid. And he was one of them because whenever he was up against people like Sting and whatever, I thought, he's going to kill him in the end, especially when he's hanging around with people like Abdullah.
That bump he did against Orndorff over those rails.
Yes, I know. I've only seen that recently.
What a bump.
Yeah, I know. only he could have pulled that off, really, but there we go. So, right, I'm losing it now. So, Danny, I think I really should be keeping better track of this. Could I keep bouncing? You need to start getting some questions right, so I don't have to keep batting them around.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
It's all right. Don't worry. So, Danny, at the time it took place, Survivor Series 91 was the first in the event's history to do what? Or do what or have what?
A title match, a heavyweight title match.
It was, yeah. And then bonus question: who was in the match?
Not a clue.
I think I know.
Go on then. Steal a point.
Was it Hogan Taker?
It was Hogan Taker. There you go.
Well done.
All right, Blanche.
Go on then.
Okay, another Halloween.
Here we go.
Another Halloween Havoc question here. So, Halloween Havoc 92. Sting faced Jake the Snake Roberts in a spin the wheel, make the deal match. Which stipulation did the wheel decide on?
Was it Loser Leaves?
No, it should have been. It was one of the worst matches I think I've ever seen.
No.
No.
This is terrible. This is ridiculous.
Sorry,
anything after like 89 is I don't want.
Should have known that, shouldn't I? This is I almost got banned from picking questions for our family quizzes during lockdown because I used to go quite obscure. But if it's worse, I wrote all these. I haven't lifted these from anyone.
No, I'm not.
I haven't got a clue.
Loser loses hair or something.
It was a coal miner's glove match.
What?
Exactly. It's like, what relevance? What is this? I don't even think the announcers.
It was booking then. Kevin Sullivan was it?
I think he's Probably was, yeah. But it was.
Yeah.
I just remember the end. It was meant to be like it was a loaded glove, so whoever got it, it's like a nightstick match sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then it was the end of the match where Jake was meant to get bitten by his own snake. And if you haven't seen it, you need to find that out to see just how horrific it was.
We'll put that on after.
Yeah.
I would. It was dark.
Havoc 92, was it? Yeah.
Halloween
right,
Havoc
it was.
92. Yeah, you've only got to watch the end of it. The match is absolute tripe. But the ending's worth it. So what they did with Jake Roberts, I mean, at that point, he was meant to be on quite a run, I think, and then it's around the time I think Bill Watts came in and he just vetoed the whole thing.
Yeah, he didn't like him. Did he?
No, but he was slated to be. Jake was meant to be fighting Bret Hart for the world title at Survivor Series '92 until he left, and I would have paid for that. That would have been amazing.
Jake Roberts is
The man.
He's great.
the man. Yeah,
He
different.
is. He is. Okay, Danny, I think if I'm keeping up with this properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Halloween Havoc question for you: in what year did the very first Halloween Havoc take place?
I haven't got a clue. I'm going to go 89.
Very good. Yeah. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. Halloween Havoc.
It
Yes,
was.
It was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and it was class as well.
I don't know if I must have seen that one, and I can't
89.
remember anything of it. Is that the one with? Oh,
NWA in '89 was a hell of a year.
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like the
great
best.
move to Terry Funk, Sting, and Ric Flair. I think is that the they were.
I think it was the one with the tag tournament as well.
That was they had a tag tournament. Oh no, they had Iron Man tournament at Starrcade.
Yeah.
I quite liked though. That was quite good. Yeah, I can't remember.
But '89 was NWA in '89 was
it was
one of the best years of wrestling ever.
So one question left each for this round.
Here we go. Come on then.
Go on, Blanche. What have you got?
What's the score anyway? Before we go into it.
4-3 to Danny. You got
By the time I go over in something.
There's time yet. There's time yet. So who holds the record for the most Survivor Series survival wins? Now we're talking about the team matches. So who has been a survivor on most occasions in Survivor Series history?
Randy Orton.
Yeah, there you go. Bonus, how many?
4.
No. 5.
See. Oof. You got to get this right, brother.
There you go, Danny. Well, we've got another round to go yet, so.
How was it? Oh, right, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
So this has a bonus element as well. I know I've been adding bonuses on.
It's like this is like the crap quiz, isn't it? There's
Yes.
no rules.
No rules. I'll just make it up. It's fine. How many Survivor Series pay-per-views did Hulk Hogan lose?
Ooh. 2.
Yes.
You are pulling these out of the air.
I am.
Can you achieve the bonus and name the years?
92 and 94.
No. Blanche?
Is it 89?
No.
Ah. No.
Sorry, I jumped in there. Go on.
I was going to say 89 and 88 or
No.
one of the first few.
87. His team lost and he got counted out in the process anyway. And 91 when he lost to The Undertaker.
Okay, yeah, of course.
So
Oh, I know that one.
I've already answered that.
at the end of the first round,
Oh,
this is 5-4 to Danny.
Yes.
So for the next round, the second round, last round, whichever way you want to look at it, in here, I've got names who made up classic Survivor Series teams. You got to tell me the year that they were
Oh, wow.
they featured. And with each of them, there are bonus points available for if you can tell me who they faced.
Oh, wow.
All right, but don't worry, just concentrate on trying to actually achieve the right answer first. So where am I going? I'll go Blanche first.
okay.
So, team number 1, Razor Ramon, 123 Kid, Marty Jannetty, and Randy Savage.
93.
Yeah. What's you want to punt at the bonus? Who did they face?
Was it 93? So was Crush one of them?
No.
Mr. Perfect was. No, I don't know.
No, that's
was
all right.
it? No, 92 when it was Perfect. And
Yeah, Perfect was meant to be on that team. Randy Savage substituted for him, but they went up against. See, I haven't got these written down. Diesel, Adam Bomb, IRS, and Rick Martel.
Some work there.
It's
Rick Martel. Rick Martel's not in the Hall of Fame. Can I just put that out there?
I know.
Why is Rick Martel not in the Hall of Fame?
No, you can't say it's because of his WCW run because that wasn't really worth much.
What a worker!
Yeah, he was awesome. I didn't like. Again, he's one of those that I hated the character, and that's probably just shows how good he was. Because I didn't really know him as a good guy. I just knew him as the model, and I just thought he was so annoying, conceited. You know. So there we go.
Strike Force.
They were good. Yeah, I didn't appreciate again because I had to go back and appreciate them later on. I didn't really understand how good they were together. I just remember them just trying to beat the crap out of each other. Danny, Rick Martel, Power and Glory, and the Warlord.
I'm gonna go 94.
No, if you hadn't added the 4, you would have been all right.
Okay.
So I'm giving that away. Actually, I can't even back that over to you, Blanche, because I've just kind of given it away.
90.
It was 90, but I tried. If you could tell me who they faced, I'll give you a point for that. Either of you.
Was it like? So was it Honky?
No. I'm trying to think.
No idea.
No.
Beefcake.
Who was he feuding with at the time? Oh, Jake Roberts. So Jake Roberts, Jimmy Snuka, and the Rockers, I think. I don't know. Right. Who else we got? So
That must have been out of a party after, by the way. Snooker, Jake, and the Rockers. Can you imagine?
I have a feeling they had one before the match. During the days that Jake was meant to be blind in one eye, he had like a completely white contact lens or something completely over his eye. It just looked really, really odd. Where are we going? Got to keep track of this. Danny, is this yours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Blanche's. He had.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Blanche, you've got Lex Luger, Adam Bomb, Mabel, and the Smoking Guns.
96?
No.
95 and Bulls.
No.
Wasn't it?
I'd say 97.
I went the wrong way. It's 94.
No, 97 is
Well, you Cayman's job is quite safe. I won't be writing another quiz.
Yes. No. Yeah, this is the years that I never really.
I was still.
See the problem. I could have probably tried to devise one of later years, but I wouldn't have had a clue. I wouldn't have been that invested in it.
Oh,
so.
I probably wouldn't have had a clue either.
I wouldn't have.
I watch it, but I don't remember.
No. Right. Well,
I don't think I've watched Raw or SmackDown probably for about 2 or 3 years.
Oh, really? Beat me then. Back to Danny, I think, on this one, aren't I?
Yep.
So here we go.
Come on. Save the game.
This is a classic one. King Mabel, Jerry Lawler, Isaac Yankem, and Triple H.
Ooh, 96.
So close.
It's a 95.
It was 95. Yeah.
Yeah, King Maple was 94, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, 95. No, 95.
When you had the Undertaker debut with the Phantom of the Opera style mask thing.
Oh yeah, that gimmick.
Yeah, bit of a weird one. Right, Flat's car. It's getting less painful. We've only got 2 left. So
right then, come on, I'm gonna win.
And it's 5 each. So
Going over.
Okay, so Ted DiBiase, Powers of Pain, and Zeus.
89.
It was 89.
I knew that one as well. You knew that one.
Oh, out of all of them. Right, go on then. I've got to offer it. The bonus. Can you tell me who they were against?
Not a clue. Hogan. Hogan. I remember Hogan.
That's all you need, really.
Was it Hogan, Beefcake?
I'm giving nothing away.
Macho. I don't know. There was lots of red and yellow that day anyway.
It was Hogan, Jake Roberts, and Demolition.
Oh,
There you go.
we love Demolition.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
We love Demolition.
They were awesome. Right. Where am I going? That was Blanche's.
Yeah.
Final one for you, Danny, then.
You've got to get this right, haven't you?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Yeah, I've got two bloody tiebreaker questions lined up. I was hoping to ask them. I may just bring them out anyway, just to finish off. So,
Yeah.
so you've got the Ultimate Warrior, the Rockers, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
92.
No.
91.
Come down with it.
89.
Yay! There we go.
Yes.
Not corrupt at all. So we do have
There we
tie
go.
breaks. We do have a tie break situation.
There you go. Let's go.
I got two questions here. I'm just going to pick one at random, see which one lands. So for this, I think it's just going to have to be correct answer shouted out first. I think first come, first served.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. This may be a banana skin one anyway, so we may still need the other question. So all of these superstars have something in common in regards to the Survivor Series. What is it? Ravishing Rick Rude, Barry Windham, Superstar Billy Graham, Bad News Brown.
They've never won a Survivor Series.
Well, that probably could have been, but it's not the answer I was after.
Then I haven't got a clue.
They were never pinned in a Survivor Series match.
Technically, again, you're right. But not the reason they've never won or they never pinned is that they were late. They had to be they all had to be substituted on their teams right before the event. So
there we go.
Slippery skin. That was more just a case of, I just thought it was quite good trivia. So Rick Rude in 1990 was substituted, I think, by Haku. Barry Windham was 89. He was substituted with Earthquake. Superstar Billy Graham in 87 was substituted with Don Morocco. Bad News Brown, had he made it onto his team in 1990, we would never have seen the debut of The Undertaker.
Wow.
So we thank him for that.
Very much so.
So here we go. Last question. Someone has to get this.
This is it.
All right. I have no more questions lined up. So I don't want to do, it's a draw. So Survivor Series 96 saw the debuts of 4 new WWF superstars. One of them was The Rock. Can you name any of the other 3?
Kane? No, it wasn't.
Was it Mark Henry?
No, he had already debuted by that point.
Oh shit.
We'll keep going.
Gold Dust.
No.
What was it? 96.
96.
1, 2,
Triple
3.
H. No. Just gonna name people.
Steve Austin, the ringmaster.
No. I'm seeing if I can give you a clue.
Kevin Nash.
No.
That was a stupid answer. I'm just naming.
D'Lo Brown.
No. If either of you actually seen it, I was kind of expecting.
It was a garden, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. So this is the same show. Obviously, The Rock debut. Sid beat Shawn for the belt. Bret Hart and Steve Austin had their first match.
What? I still can't remember.
One guy. Okay, I have to stop dropping hints. So yeah, one of them was an ex-WCW guy. He came in, he wore a jumpsuit. He danced a lot.
Flashbang.
There you go. Yes.
There we go. Well done.
There you go. Well done, Blanch. Hey. So
I've actually met him as well.
have you really? Oh, there you go. I've heard.
Yeah, very nice. Too Cold was a very nice guy.
That's good. That's good. I've heard from a few. He wasn't all that sort of pleasant, which I thought.
I was with Tracy Smothers when I met him. So
okay.
So
you were in.
Yeah. So he was great. He was lovely, actually.
Cool. Well, there you go.
Cool. Yeah. Cool idea.
So there you go, Cayman. Your job's safe, mate. I'm not going to take your quiz crown
Very
anytime
much.
soon. I think I might well retire that. So
I'm literally gonna watch Survivor Series now forever.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm appalled by my knowledge of Survivor Series.
well, if I've achieved anything, then it's that. So you've got to appreciate Survivor Series. There you go, Blanch.
Didn't they have like 10 versus 10 in one match once?
They did. Now it was the early years. I think they did it for the first 2 years. They had 5 tag teams on each team.
Yeah.
It's the one in '88 was the first event I ever saw with Survivor Series '88, and that was the first match I ever saw, and I loved it. I think it's
because every match was a Survivor Series match, wasn't it?
Yeah,
on the card?
that's it. Yeah, and I mean in that one in '88, you had Demolition, you had the Rougeos, the Bulldogs, Hart Foundation, the Rockers. It's just like, and the Brainbusters.
I remember because the one thing I do remember about Survivor Series. Do you remember at the beginning of the video packages they had on all the VHSs?
Yeah,
they had Arn Anderson doing that spine buster on Mighty,
yes.
right? And it's like they're still the greatest ever spine
It
buster.
is. I've not seen one better than that. That was amazing.
Oh, I don't know, the one he did on Taker at that WrestleMania.
That's true. Yeah,
You do a good. Oh, he does a good spine buster.
Oh,
but
yeah,
let's see that.
this guy.
But no, Arn's the man.
Yeah.
What a worker. Arn's the man.
Fantastic. So yeah, Shawn Michaels took a spinebuster from him the following year as well, and yeah, it paled in comparison, I think. So, but there you go. So add that title to the Outbreak title, sir. Bragging rights. Sorry, I don't have a prize other than bragging rights, but I think
I'm used to jobbing. It's fine.
I was gonna say, I think in Beers and Beatdowns, bragging rights is just as important. So
Yeah.
Let's listen. Thank you so much for this. Sorry that the quiz was a little bit painful to get through, but we had some fun. Well, I did anyway.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's good. We like it. We like stupid rubbish. Like, you know what I mean? Not that it was stupid rubbish, but we like.
Okay, no, backtrack now. You've
No.
it, so.
No, we like random shit, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Cool. Thank you so much for coming on. Anyone who's watching this who may not already know, I am putting this out later tonight on my pages, but this was always going to be the last episode of 2021. I was going to take a break until the new year. I have decided that Once Upon a Turnbuckle will end here. So I've had a blast. This is really an ideal way to finish it, like I say, because of all the time the Karnage guys have afforded me lately to come on and talk to me. I really do appreciate that, and it's been great to speak to you all. Not that it's going to be last time. I'm still going to be around. I'm still going to be following. But Beers and Beatdowns, thank you so much for
thank you for the support you've given Karnage as well. We really appreciate it.
You've got eyes on us. You've given us eyes.
No, thank you. Yeah,
the guys have loved being on with you as well. So we thank you just as much. So thank you very much.
No worries at all. And the episodes will remain up there. Hopefully more people will discover them, and you guys are doing fantastic things, and I'll be watching what's happening, and one day I'm hoping to get up to sunny Wales myself. And
come see us.
Yeah, I will definitely.
There'll be a ticket on the door waiting for you.
Bless you, sir. Too kind. It's awesome. Well, Beers and Beatdowns, again, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you to everyone from Karnage who's been on, and everyone who's made the series what it is over the last year or so. I really appreciate it.
Been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure, mate. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys.